Hi and welcome. I'm here in Morocco, in Marrakesh, with the beautiful Sandra Josie from Club Lady Day, and our special guest today is Sandra
Rigobert.
Rigobert.
Yeah.
Wonderful. The amazing author of Dyslexia, The Silent Difference. So I thought it was a great opportunity while I was here, sun kissed in the sun, to really unpick this book and understand a bit more about what's going on, just so that you know why you need to get the new version. In fact,
Yes.
this is the old version that
That's
I'm
the
looking
old
at
version.
now.
Yeah, it's been
but there's
revised. A new edition.
When would that new version be out? When would the new
It
edition
should have
be
been out already, so we're still working on it. There's still some teething bits that need to be ironed out, but by the end of June, it should be out.
Excellent, excellent. As you can see by my copy, I've gone through so many different questions, so many different areas you need to explore. I think it's such an important message, and I know that this is very much your life story and your experiences. Why did you feel the need to share that with the world?
Because life was so difficult at the time. As I say in the book, I found my teenage years. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it. Not
Challenging.
Challenging. I was really miserable and at times suicidal.
Yes.
Because I literally did think what the teacher had said to me. I was a dumb person. I didn't have any brains to do anything.
Yeah.
And I fell into jobs and situations that, because of my thinking and my mindset, was so poor and weak that I shouldn't have been in, really. So I thought I must share the story to maybe encourage other people that may be experiencing the same or similar sort of situation, that you don't have to be like that at all.
What I liked about the book is that you are actually disclosing your vulnerability and you're exposing it, and I'm going through the life with you.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it's really nice to feel that very natural flow that's going through the book, and I could feel your challenges, and so I could feel your strength in there. So even though you're saying you're vulnerable, you're actually a very much stronger person.
Yes.
For it,
For it's very true. For the struggles I have, I wouldn't be the person I am now. I wouldn't be able to support the people the way I do now, but for the fact that I went through those difficult years and those suicidal years and very sad years. So hence I had to put it down in some that people could get hold of and read and say, well, actually, though I'm not very good at reading or not very good at spelling, I'm not stupid. I've got abilities in other areas that I can share and use, and I can be a happy person.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because it's you're actually sending out a strong message out there for other people who are like yourself, who are dyslexic, that there is hope.
Yeah,
there is hope, you know, and it's not just the one skill of, you know, not being able to work out the words or anything like that.
That's right.
You are marrying your other skills that you have
That's
to compensate for the skills that you haven't got. But of course, it's all a learning curve as well. And also in the book itself, it has actually got some signposting for people.
Yeah, that's right.
And
who are
techniques.
dyslexic.
There's a
Yeah,
little bit of
it's really
techniques.
good.
Yeah.
So it's practical
exactly.
techniques as well.
Yeah, that was the point.
To help them,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, that's it's really good. I'm glad that you put that in there. It's really,
Thanks.
you know, yeah, fantastic.
It also talks about your A1 training. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So it is to work with people that have any special needs, but in particular dyslexia. So you might be dyscalculia, so it might be difficulties with words. It might be a slightly autistic or Asperger's. And you find that sometimes people that have those kind of difficulties will have difficulties in just learning in class. So they're tips and techniques in how to manage situations like when the teacher calls you out to read and you know you're going to find it difficult and you're going to be embarrassed and other people might laugh, how you deal with that in yourself if those things do happen. How to actually read, possibly if you're not reading very well, how to follow the words on the page, how to speak to somebody else, maybe tell a teacher, because I never told anybody. I knew teachers understood that I couldn't read, but they didn't pick it up and take me to one side and say, look, we notice you're not doing your work in your books, we notice you're not reading, we notice you're not writing. I noticed when we call you out to read, your reading is very poor. We didn't have that kind of thing back in the 70s, but now there is that. And if you are in a situation where you've gone a certain level in school and you're like, they've not picked it up themselves, the educators that are around you that should pick it up, how you have that discussion with people, so that you can say, look, I am struggling in this area. I'm not lazy. I genuinely find it hard, and how to unpick what it is you find hard. Yeah.
So do you feel things are better now? You're saying that in your experience in the 70s it was much more of a struggle, people didn't understand. But are you saying now, are you seeing changes? Are schools picking it up? Are they, or is there still a gap?
There's still a gap.
Okay.
There's still a massive gap, because I work in education now, and yes, they pick it up, but they're not doing anything with the information that they've got. They're not working with the children in an appropriate way. They're giving them subjects to go and just sit in and languish, I think. I don't see the sense in you sending a child that's not, even children that come to the UK and can't speak English. Don't give them lessons like geography and that. Just give them like English so they can learn the language.
To get the foundation.
Yeah,
get the foundation you can build on.
And they're doing things like that, and I'm saying, well, there's still a gap there. So even though they're saying, yes, they've put them on the SEN register, they need support, the support is not adequate.
Okay, so there's still a lot more work to be done.
Still a lot to be done, absolutely.
That sounds like more books.
I was going to say, as a lecturer myself, I do find that it's the teachers and lecturers and the people who are training, doing the educators, that is not getting the training. They're not they're not being updated. It's all very well you have people in your class who are dyslexic or who have other things that need the extra support in the classroom. You have them on the timetable, you have them in the class, but the teacher himself is probably not trained, to take that class, and that's, I think, where the system fails. A lot of people, because I'm speaking from experience, I've got dyslexic in my class. I've got bipolar. I've got, so many different things. And have I been trained in dealing with somebody who's got bipolar?
Very true.
Have I been trained in dyslexic? I haven't.
So it's to educate the educators.
Educate the educators, and that's what I said. The book could actually be used as a resource for in education to train lecturers and teachers in recognising and maybe giving some sort of just the basic sorts of support and highlighting them, really making some use of what information they've got.
You talked in here about a special teacher. That's Mr. Matthew Burry. So tell me, what was it about him? Because I presume that he might not have that special training, but it seems like how he behaved and how he treated you was a key factor in you moving forward.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Without him, I wouldn't have finished my PGCE. I always say that. I always big him up, because I don't think he was specially trained in it, but I think what he liked in me was what they called, I was classroom enthusiastic. So I would do the presentation at the beginning of the lesson, explain what the lesson was about, and I always on my feet in my lessons. I never sit down, and I go around to each one of my students and make sure they get what they need to understand for the lessons. And because I was what he called classroom enthusiastic, he gave me that extra support. He said, we can't let you go to waste because you can't read well enough, you can't spell well enough. And he gave me that extra time. And I mean, he would spend, we'd finish a day at training at school, he'd finish what he'd done, his lecturing, we'd meet about 5 o'clock in his offices, and we'd be there sometimes till 8 o'clock unpicking my dissertations, because you had to do three 10,000 word
training.
10,000 word dissertations, and he'd be with me unpicking it, so I made it right, so I could get a good grade to pass my PGCE. So I can always say, fantastic man, really.
So definitely educate the educators, but there are some people out there that's taken that further, isn't it? There are some people. And it looks like it was because he saw the good in you, he saw the positive in you, he saw the energy, that motivation in you, that even though you had that challenge, you still, you still had a drive and a motivation. He saw that, and so that made that very special. So sometimes maybe with our children, if our children have reading problems or understanding slow reading, then it's about thinking, okay, then how can we manage it in a different way? Isn't it? Maybe that standard way isn't the only way, isn't it? And it's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
So it's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. I'm really appreciative.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I read through it. It's definitely a page turner. You want to find out what's going on. I definitely felt close to you reading this, understanding the challenges, and it was very emotional at times.
Yeah, there was some emotional parts.
So
I was going to say, what's the next step now, Sandra?
So
on helping other people like yourself.
Yes, I've updated the book, so there's a little bit more information, a little bit more tips and skills for educators, because I would like
Okay.
it to go into sort of university as a tool that they can use as a resource for training.
Okay.
And then beyond there, it's to run the groups and that kind of stuff
What,
for people
like
with
workshops,
special needs.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing that already?
I've already started that, so I work with people that are special needs, adults, and people that are interested in doing community work and improving not just their how they read, but their health. I do a lot of organic gardening, organic cooking, that kind of stuff. But it's nice for people to think that they can do some sort of enterprise using those skills.
Yeah.
They don't just have to be in
So doing practical
yeah,
hands-on skills.
yeah,
and using
more
those,
things like that,
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So how do people get hold of you?
Best way is on
Is it by the-
Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook?
Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no website at the moment.
Okay.
It's just Facebook or any of the social media sites I'm on.
Does the A1 training
Instagram.
have a site?
A1 Tribe doesn't have its own site. It's got its own page on Facebook.
It's got its face. Oh, wonderful! So if we go into Facebook to A1 Tribe,
you'll
then
find me
they
there.
find see what you're doing, see what you're
Yeah,
up to, and
see
find
what-
out when the workshops are about and
That's
stuff like
right,
that.
yeah.
Excellent, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank
Brilliant,
you.
super.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you so much for the
It's been
interview.
a pleasure. It's been
Thank
a
you so
pleasure.
much.
Absolute pleasure. Please look out for the book. It's coming out very, very soon.
Yeah,
Is it going to
end
be?
of
Is it the
June.
same title?
It's the same title,
Same
but it's a
title,
different
but the
cover.
new-
It's an all black
Different,
cover.
All black cover. So it's a updated, new and improved, updated version. And look out for it. I'm Sophie Morgan Genius from Morgan Genius Limited. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet Sandra and Sandy and enjoy this read. So speak to you soon. You take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.